you're a woman in her 40s, 50s, and you think that there's no hope for menopause, I have news for you. I'm Joya Vanderlaan. I'm a family nurse practitioner. I really specialize in helping women and men through the perimenopause and menopause timeframe. I love functional medicine. That is my heart and soul in many ways. And a lot of times people think that using hormones as treatment is not functional medicine. I would beg to differ. Functional medicine to me means looking at root causes, helping the body to work the way it is supposed to work, and also looking at things that are going to promote longevity and health and prevent diseases and problems in the future. And holy cow, hormones do that. So one book that I would recommend on this to everyone, it's in my note templates, is Estrogen Matters by Avram Blooming. I could spend hours on here going through the ins and outs of why the old studies really are not accurate and really damaging to women's health and menopause care, perimenopause care. When we think about using hormones and incorporating a functional medicine perspective in care, what I do is I will test for the hormones. I will listen to the patient and what symptoms they are having. And then I will also test for things like nutrition. So B vitamins, omegas, amino acids. So many things are important even when we are giving hormones. Part of the reason for that is because hormones are going to work best and be lowest risk in a healthy body that has the proper nutrition to perform all its functions well. We can reduce risk of side effects. We can prevent all sorts of things, period, with or without hormones, with a functional medicine approach. But nothing in functional medicine, no herbs, no vitamins, no diet plan is going to save your bones, your brain, or your heart from the effects of low estrogen or low other hormones. Now let's back up for a minute. What is perimenopause? If you've watched my videos before, you probably know, so I'll go through it quickly. Perimenopause is that 10-year time frame before you actually stop your period for a year, that's menopause, where a lot of changes are happening. And what I see in women and what other providers who care for women like this are seeing is weight gain, brain fog, fatigue, vaginal dryness, low libido, anxiety, like nonsense anxiety. You're not an anxious person and all of a sudden you're anxious. Sometimes depression, vaginal dryness, low libido, and that really affects marriages, relationships. Weight gain is a common complaint. Fatigue is a common complaint. So as you can tell by these symptoms, there's lots of really bothersome, life-impacting, life-altering symptoms, let alone the long-term impact of having low hormones. One of the things that I take time to talk about with my patients is lifestyle. How are you sleeping? And not just a yes or no, on or off switch, are you sleeping or not? Are you falling asleep okay? Are you staying asleep okay? Are you waking well rested? Are you waking with a dry mouth or a headache? Maybe there's some sleep apnea or some mouth breathing going on, and then we've got to solve that problem or figure out why that's happening and solve that. What are you eating? Are you eating processed food? Are you eating too little protein? Are you eating too many carbs? And is that contributing to symptoms or just ill health in general? So education is a huge part of what I do with my patients. Even educating on that Sol de Janeiro that your daughter's wearing, probably full of chemicals that are disrupting her hormones, maybe yours too. We really want to be aware of what we're using on our bodies, in our homes, for cleaning, for personal care, all of that. And a lot of that are things that I discuss over time with my patients to help them live healthier lives. You know, I offer a really unique service model. We are cash-based, but from the name, you might be able to tell, I actually make house calls. And if you're lucky enough to live within about 10 miles of where we are, in Westmont, so near Hinsdale and Downers Grove, western suburbs of Chicago, I actually can make house calls and go see you in person in your own home. That allows me to even smell. Are you using candles? That could be a problem. Air fresheners, is there potentially mold that we need to be worried about in the house? So house calls kind of gets back to that personal level care that I am aiming to provide. And then we can also do Zoom or virtual visits. I am licensed in, I believe, 8 states now. That's on the website, on the Contact Us page. You can see all what states that I'm currently licensed in. And then I also have an office in Downers Grove, Illinois that I sublet a couple days a week, and I can see patients there on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we really have a well-rounded ability to serve patients in a variety of different ways. I tried to make protocols early on that would allow me to plug and play. And I very quickly realized that that wasn't going to work. Every time I would plug in a protocol that I had created, I ended up changing so much of it because each patient, of course, is highly individual, especially when it comes to menopause care and hormones and even supplements, that I really just couldn't template it. And so I don't use protocols. I use what I know. I use the patient's labs. I use the patient's symptoms, what they tell me. I use what the patient's preferences are. Certainly I can still work with somebody and help somebody if they do not want to be on hormones. For example, some patients are okay being on a whole lot of supplements. Some patients really only can handle one or two. So across the gamut, I can work with people, help people, and make sure they get the best care that they deserve. If you're interested in learning more, you can go to our website. I also offer free discovery calls, chat for 15 minutes, find out what's going on with you, and see if this is a good fit for you. You can book that discovery through our website, nourishhousecalls.com.